Good evening, Mission Control. Tonight, kind of a good reminder that winter is coming. We're down to, I think it's, 31 or 30 plus 11, no, 60. 60 plus 11, 71. Down to 71 days until November 11th. But tonight is a good note on that piece of sheet music moving us towards the crescendo on November 11th, and that is the Microgreen shelving just showed up tonight. So we're able to have a great delivery. Thank you, Dave, for coming up here and delivering all this tonight. We've got our germination shelf as well as the microgreen shelves, and then all the racking that goes with it were delivered tonight. So that means next week, it'll be Labor Day weekend, and I'm going to be taking a few days off. We're really going to be able to get a whole lot of stuff done. So I'm going to do a whole nother video on the projects for Labor Day weekend and week, including getting firewood. Ooh, boy. But this is really exciting, and seeing them all here, these are actually customized for us. These are smaller pallet rackings than your traditional 3 to 4 inch or up to even 5 or 6 inch pallet racks. So these are just 2-inch pallet racks. So they're less expensive. Each one of these is about $20, and I could not find anything cheaper than that except for wood. And as you know, wood's a no-go for us because of the mold and safety issues. So we need metal. This is metal at 20 bucks a pop here. You really can't beat this. So industrial pallet racking is the way to go, but we had to custom order this. It's the size they make, obviously, but we had to, it's not something that's stocked locally. So really excited that this is here. Tonight, I want to report on the automation and the power regulators that were popping. I think I figured out the problem. So let's jump inside there. You'll notice kind of got some shadows starting to show up, and that's because it's dark out here. And I got to start using light. So first of all, welcome to all of our new subscribers. But for all of the subscribers that have been with us since the very beginning, you know that means the dark days of winter is coming. Now, I learned something pop culture-wise. I'm totally out of loop because all I do is work. But apparently there's this show called Game of Thrones. I'm guessing many of you will be familiar with it. And they have a saying on there that I guess is one of their standard lines, and that is, winter is coming. That's my best. I guess they're Vikings or something like that. I don't watch it. We don't get Netflix, so we don't have fast enough internet. But I definitely feel like that way tonight. It's dark. We got the lights on. It feels a lot like last winter when I was talking to you guys, and it really did feel like I was on Mars, because once the snow starts, it's kind of like we're out here by ourselves. And this light is a reminder that winter is coming. So let's jump inside before winter gets here and show you the automation and what I think. All right, we're standing here at lane 1, and you'll notice pretty lights are back again, and we are operational. And that's because what I discovered, there's a few things actually that were going on here. First, this right here is the relay, the switch, like a light switch. That I originally had, and it's wired a very specific way. On the far left, where you would connect your outlet power to, is where it's normally open, meaning that normally there's no power going out to whatever you have plugged in, normally open. And this is the relay bank here, and I wired it assuming that it was the same wiring, and come to figure out that everything on the left was actually normally closed. So what that meant is that each one of these was drawing significant amounts of amps as it was powering the valves. Plus, it was powering these boards. So what was happening, let's see if I can get a close-up here for you. What was happening is that little thing that's sticking out the top there, that's the power regulator. And it was popping, meaning the extra amps that were going through here, because it's these were all wired to be normally closed, meaning they were pulling power, overheated this thing and blew it out. Now, a lot of you recommended that I put in here a heat sink, and that may have helped, but I've come to find out that these are only like 1 amp really. So that's not going to be good enough for us. So thanks to the power of YouTube and the TheRealMartian following, Mission Control, we are implementing this solution. So this is a called a buck converter, and what it does is it takes 12 volts in, and it can go puts 5 volts out, up to 5 amps. So this power supply is 5 amps at 12 volts. So we can do quite a bit of power through this thing, and we don't have to worry about anything burning out. And this was actually cheaper to build than this. So now the only thing that I need on here are these prongs to create the bus. So I could actually saw a majority of this thing off. I actually don't need it. Now, I'm going to leave it on there just for now. But I could actually cut them all off if I really wanted to. So anyway, I was happy to get this problem solved. I installed this last night. Everything's working. There's no overheating or anything going on. Power is moving the correct way. So I can finally start the troubleshooting, or I shouldn't say troubleshooting, but testing to make sure that the Wi-Fi and the server connections are working correctly. So tonight I'm going to put these in the remainder, disconnect the existing boards, and wire them up like I have lane 1 here. So let's get started on that. Another thing that I realized, if you're new, you didn't see this last year, but for those following along, is gotta have my headlamp back on. There's a rule I had last year: I can't leave the house without a headlamp, because you can get out here when it's daylight, but quickly it can go from daylight to definitely not daylight. Oops. This is 5 lines, so that goes over there. So now I'm just reconnecting everything I disconnected when I was troubleshooting. This one might have some more damage to it than I care to actually have. A lot of magic smoke coming out of this one. But I think, based on what I've seen, that it was probably just some stuff burning off that was unnecessary. If there is such a thing. Okay, so that's gone. That looks better. Okay, but what we do have, still have these, whoops, forgot to do this quickly here. Okay. Okay, so now, with the exception of one little thing here that decided it wants to be a pain, looks like this one's fixed. I'm going to fix up this wire here, and we'll move on to the next one. So now I'm at lane 4, and I'm skipping lane 3 because it's been working. I'm going to do it last so I get these up to speed. And what I found, that lane 3 is actually the one that tipped me off about the relays being wired wrong. Everything happens for a reason. Gotta have my back again. Thank you, Jesus. Whoops, whacked me on the head there. That's darn straight I do. So, I'm going to say, I forget what I was going to say. Anyway, so I left it there. This is what I was going to say. That's fine. Then I'll come back to it. I'm on lane 3, and I just got done putting the buck converter in and making sure the relays were all wired up correctly. And the really bad news is I think I burned out the Mega, and maybe even this relay bank. They don't want to seem to worky like they shouldy. So that's el bade. So yeah, gonna have to order another Mega. Rats! The magic smoke has claimed its first victim. Well, it was a good night working on the automation. Sadly, there's that one board, the Mega, that I burned up. It's a $10 board, so it's not huge, but it's one of those things you don't really want to have happen. So now I gotta order another one, and probably should order a few spares just in case something happens during winter time and they burn out. But lane 1, lane 2, and lane 3 are all operational right now and going through testing. We'll let them run a few days before we fully trust them on their own. But as you can see behind me, something looks a little different here. I felt like a kid at Christmas. I just could not keep my hands out of the presents that showed up today. So I've been kind of doing this whole talking and waving of hands thing for you to see or to visualize what we got going on and what the plan is here. So let's talk about it real fast, because obviously now you don't have to visualize, you can actually see it. Three things going on here. You have aquaponics, germination, microgreens, microgreens, if you so wanted to, but we only need to do the one to get the numbers to work out for us. So some of you are wondering, are we moving away from aquaponics and just doing microgreens? The answer is absolutely no. What we're doing is we're actually increasing the amount of aquaponics we're doing. I'm showing you this bed here. You can see the lettuce behind me. We've been growing this for a few weeks now. I think it's borderline like 2 months, and it's been taking too long because it doesn't get enough light. So the plan is to figure out how much light is required, which I've done. It's a lot, and put enough light bulbs like this one here that I have diagonal right now into this bed and make sure we can grow lettuce at a good rate. So I think I'm going to buy about 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 more of these lights and put them in diagonal and see if I can get enough coverage with everything. I also have some mylar that I can put up underneath it here to play with to get some more reflection. And the objective is to minimize the amount of lights that we have to put on here so that we can have every bed have robust, luscious microgreen, or I'm sorry, aquaponic grown vegetables in it. This is about 17 inches from here to here. So I'm getting about a 20-inch spread off my light on the ground. So that's the math for those that want to do it. Next shelf up is microgreen germination. This top shelf is the microgreens, and it can hold 24 of these side by side, front to back. So you can tell the height right here. I'm 5'8". This is a little bit less than that, so probably 5'6". Mrs. Martian is shorter than that, so step stools will be something that we'll be investing in so that you can step up, do your watering, and come back down. Now from where I'm at, I could actually use our wand and I can actually reach all the way across there, but you can't really see what's going on. So I can get on my tippy toes and see, but Mrs. Martian isn't going to be able to. So a small little step stool is going to be important. One with like off-road wheels. Hey, if any of you, a lot of you have actually asked if you could help. So if you're a carpenter and you want to tinker, here is something you could actually build and send to us. We need a little step stool that has off-road tires on it that you can lock, like maybe push on a pedal and lock the wheels so it doesn't move when you step up on it. And it only needs to have, you know, like 12 inches of step. But I mean, let's make it 16 inches of step so that we can come up here and then come down, remove the lock, and scoot it down. But off-road tires on a step with a lock on it that you don't have to bend over to touch. You can push it with your foot, unlock it, push it with your foot and unlock it. So if you guys really want to help out, now's the time. Take me up on this offer, and you guys kind of work in the comment section, and first one I guess to cross the finish line, I'll send you my address and you can ship us what you got. But that would be helpful. Or you can find one online and tell me about that one too. We'll buy it. So let's get back to this. So you can fit 24 shelves front to back, da da da. All right, so that's why you need to have 3 trays down here. One tray will be planted, another tray will be planted. They'll sit on top of each other like this while they germinate. And the third tray sitting on top like this will be weighted so that all the trays get the proper weight on them and they germinate correctly. I just have them up here in this weird format right now just to make sure my spacing is right. So, currently, this is the game plan. Well, this is obviously we invested money in it. This is the game plan for the microgreen shelves. That will give us all of our aquaponic shelves back, or beds back, so we can actually go full aquaponics. So if anyone was confused and you thought all we're going to do is microgreens, remember our mission is sustainable food and energy to our local community. Aquaponics is the key to that, but we got to do the microgreens to help pay for all of this. So enter the microgreen shelves. We got germination, we got planting. This is going to be nice. This is going to be really nice. Oh, and another good thing about this is these will be sitting up here a lot flatter than what they sit down in these beds that are filled with rock right now. So we'll get a much more even grow. That's one of the things we notice is that when you have a wonky surface, that it can mess with the growth and germination. So I'm going to leave this light on. Oh, let me go. I'm going to be right back. I'll tell you how many amps this is taking. This, sorry, I had to go check my numbers here. This one lamp is taking 0.65 amps. It has a 120 degree beam. It's covering 20 inches at approximately 16 inches high. So when I run the numbers on that, it comes out to be correct. 20 inches is what I was expecting. And this is where I end up getting about 300 some on lights and a $700 bill for electricity per month, because there has to be so many of them to get 17 moles per meter squared per day on this bed. But that said, we got it up. We're going to do some testing, try some different ways of doing this. Maybe we do go back to something like this that's moving, only now we build it into the shelf so that we have more space to grow things. I don't know. I'm totally open to ideas. But I got to get inside, do some more paperwork, shut down for the evening, and get back to work tomorrow. So, hope you enjoyed this video, just a little update. If you did, be sure to give us a thumbs up. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and please subscribe, that always helps. In the meantime, everyone, this is The Real Martian. Out.